We're doing that to ensure that children are not exposed prematurely to adult experiences. So that is why this conversation is very important during this Child Protection Week. And that is the work of the FPB.
When it comes to the protection of children, what is the views of your members out there when it comes to the protection of children, be it you are ordinary children, children who are in conflict with the law, who are referred into their facilities? What are the views of your members out there who have the first-hand experience? I understand the social workers will refer, the children's court will refer, but they are the ones who will accept them, they will care for them, they will provide food for them, they will make sure that each and every now and then when they are not feeling well.
Children are much more exposed now. We've got parents who are both working. The family structures are no longer the same as they used to be. Some children are staying with their grannies, especially in the rural communities where we have deployed child and youth care workers. And then for their parents to be able to access them, they have given them cell phones. And you never know what happens on the cell phones when the parent is not there.
We need to collaborate as different stakeholders, and for our members as social workers, we often say we are the custodians of the Children's Act or the custodians of the child protection. So meaning for us as social workers, we are not involved in child protection only for this week of child protection.
I would put children together to speak to each other so that they also understand what the impact is of the decisions that they make on each other. Because see, as much as, and I mean, you do the same, that we go to schools, we chat to the kids. As much as there's older people trying to catch our children and getting them to send photos and videos, a lot of the time, it's also other kids that are jealous because of more likes or more follows or less follows. So I would firstly say, as much as we need to chat to them, they also need to have open dialogue with each other.
Hi everyone at home, my name is Morendeni. We are gonna be having a podcast that is gonna focus on evaluating the effectiveness in terms of the initiatives of child protection activities that different department organizations are out there doing. Together I am joined by the panel of experts. I will start with Mr. Witness Muila, who is the Secretary, Social Work Association. I am also joined by Mr. Donald Ngonyama, who is the Director, National Child Care Workers Forum. I am also joined by our acting CEO, Makhosazana Lindhorst, who is the acting CEO at the Films and Publications Board. I am joined also by the CEO of NCCP, Danny. And yeah, we are going to have a conversation. It's not an interview. That is why we are laughing. And I'm saying to my panelists, you must laugh all you can, because we are starting a conversation that also general members of the public out there, they are going to come in and also provide their insight through our different social media platform, your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and the conversation will be continuous. And it's not the first of it all. It's just the first of so many that are actually coming in. Because for us, child protection is not all about the week or the month. It's 365 days conversation. So we are going to have fun, my panelists. And yeah, I will start with our acting CEO, Ms. Advocate Makhosazana, who will just take us through about who is the FPB, the mandate, and also our legislative framework in terms of the protection of children, especially when it comes to the online space. So she will take us through briefly so, And then we'll start the conversation with our panelists who will come in every now and then when they feel like there is a point that they want to raise. They can come in. It's not a formal preaching session, but a conversation that indeed it doesn't have rules of engagement. But yes, out there, be ready for a very exciting conversation that we are going to have. Advocate, over to you, just to take us through in brief, who are we at this point in time when we look at the Child Protection Week, the Child Protection Month, the different initiatives that different departments, organizations are doing. Are they indeed getting to where we would want to see it? Is there a need of further improvement? Is there a need for us to sit in a roundtable of this nature to have a continuous conversation, because we understand child protection is not an one organization mandate. It requires collaboration, and collaboration. So that is why we're having all of this panel of experts, and as I've indicated, it's a continuous conversation. Advocate, over to you.
Thank you so much. To the viewers out there at home, we are the Film and Publication Board, and our role is that of regulating the creation, the production and distribution of films, games and certain publications. I know out there, some of you, as we are talking, we are busy playing with your PlayStation 5. We are regulating that as the Film and Publication Board. We also provide the age ratings. So when you're watching your movies, that is the work of the FPB. And the question is, why are we doing that? We are empowered by the Films and Publications Act. And we're doing that to ensure that children are not exposed prematurely to adult experiences. So that is why this conversation is very important during this Child Protection Week. And that is the work of the FPB. So we are empowered by legislation to ensure that we classify. But now you will know that consumption of content has actually changed. Now with the internet, it has moved online. And our mandate has also followed the online space. So we are empowered to ensure that we regulate the online space. And one of the prohibitions that are there in the Act is that children should not be used to create child pornography. So it is actually an offense for one to create pornography. And that is the work that we do as the FPB. So how are we doing that? We have a team of platform monitors who on a day-to-day basis are actually monitoring the internet. So you need to know that we are always watching what you do online to ensure that the internet is safer for South African. So over and above that, when that content that is being monitored is found to be contravening the Act, then we have a team of investigators, a team of compliance officers, a team of child practitioners, especially on issues of child sexual abuse material, that are actually analyzing that content. So we work closely with SAPS and also the NPA to ensure that perpetrators are being brought to book. So what do we see as we continue to do our work? We really see a trend that parents out there are not properly informed, and hence it is important for us to educate members of the public. You will know that one of the priorities of the current government is that of giving South Africans digital skills. So as FPB, we're really playing that big role in ensuring that whilst you are exercising your right to freedom of expression, you are posting your private content online, but we are also giving you the mechanics of ensuring that you also protect yourself. So that is the work that we do as the FPB, and we are seeing trends where people not knowing are actually posting CSAM content, CSAM being the child sexual abuse material. So if as a parent you take a picture, a nude picture of your child who is bathing, and you are sending it online, that is CSAM material. So we want to warn you out there that as part of our mandate, that is the kind of content that we are educating members of the public, because the one thing you know you are posting to your friends, then that picture will find itself in other platforms. So there are other people who are actually in business of changing that content and make it used for unintended purposes. So it becomes important that as parent, you know what is it that we are posting out there. So that's the work that we do as the Film and Publication Board. But over and above that, we are saying, if you see that maybe there's a content that is being posted about yourself around issues of cyberbullying, or there's sharing of intimate images, you can always come to the FPB and report to the FPB. We are empowered by the Act that we can actually engage the social media platforms to remove that content at no cost. And our team of compliance officers and investigators can go further to investigate and actually take that matter to our quasi-judicial body, which is an enforcement committee. So these are all the powers that we have as FPB, which are given to us by the new mandate that we are given by the amended Act. So we are saying you need to work closely with us because we need more complaints. We're actually not getting complaints. That is why we're going to schools, as we observe this week, the Child Protection Week, that if there's cyberbullying, do not keep quiet. You have to report. That is what is important. And what we are seeing that we cannot do it on our own as FPB, and that is why we have invited the stakeholders, and we are really grateful that we have taken time to come and take this opportunity that we engage members of the public. We really need the civil society to work with because we cannot do it on our own. We have to be out there and make sure that we empower parents with digital skills. So these are the improvements that we want to see. But over and above that, we want to see parents now taking responsibility because their responsibility of parenting has been changed by the internet. So it's no longer about making sure that the child does not go and play in the streets and come back at home late. It is beyond that. The child can actually be sitting in your house without even leaving the premises, whereas they are exposed and being harassed online, or they are being groomed online. So that is why it's important that as we give them access also to smartphones, but we also know the parental controls of ensuring that we protect our children.
Thank you so much, Advocate. You have just kickstarted that very interest or discussion that we are going to have today. And indeed, fpb.za, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Film and Publications Board to start the conversation with you. We are not leaving you behind. Our members out there, general members of the community, who are very instrumental, and we value your contributions and inputs into this discussion. Mr. Ngonyama, you are national child care worker. They're very critical when it comes to the protection of children. They're out there in facilities that are designated the responsibility to protect children, be it at the children's home, be it at the centers where they might be referred by the children's court, your diversion programs, and also any other facilities. It's all your members all over who interact and see them every now and then. Are we winning the battle when it comes to the protection of children? What is the views of your members out there when it comes to the protection of children, be it you are ordinary children, children who are in conflict with the law, who are referred into their facilities? What are the views of your members out there who have the first-hand experience? I understand the social workers will refer, the children's court will refer, but they are the ones who will accept them, they will care for them, they will provide food for them. They will make sure that each and every now and then when they are not feeling well, they are well taken care of. So what are the views, Mr. Ngonyama?
Thank you very much. My name is Donald Ngonyama from the National Association of Child Care Workers. I serve as director of the association. And we have child and youth care workers all over the country in all our provinces. And child and youth care workers are a profession that is recognized, legislated, and it sits under the South African Council for Social Services Professions. I happen to be the chairperson of the Professional Board for Child and Youth Care Work. And It is correct. When it comes to the content that goes out there, the question is, what are the child and youth care workers saying? Are we satisfied with the work that is happening? I think that most can still be done. And we, as you rightly indicated, the social workers will receive children who are placed in the child and youth care centers. And at the end of the day, those children are served by the child and youth care workers for 24 hours. And you also find child and youth care workers these days deployed in schools and as in courts as well as court intermediaries. We also find them in the community through the RISIHA Prevention and Early Intervention Program. And in responding to the question, I think that we need more child and youth care workers on the ground because children are much more exposed now. We've got parents who are both working. The family structures are no longer the same as they used to be. Some children are staying with their grannies, especially in the rural communities where we have deployed child and youth care workers. And then for their parents to be able to access them, they have given them cell phones. And you never know what happens on the cell phones when the parent is not there. And I just came across a case just last week, a case that is very close to me, where the parents have taken away the phone from the child, a child who is in high school. And as we know now, a child in high school requires a cell phone because there is a lot that they have to access through their phones. And what do parents do to try and ensure that the children do not use the phone in a way that is that destroys them? You find that the parents themselves are not educated. They don't know what to do. So they end up taking the phone instead of making sure that the children do not have access to the phone. But the relationship, the communication between parents and the children as well, it's not happening enough. You see, you are not taught to become a parent. You just happen to be a parent and you learn as you go. And because of the collapsed family structures now, you may not even get support as the parent. And the gap between the grandparents and the children also becomes an issue because the grandparents may not even understand what the child is accessing from their phones. So I think that there is more that still needs to be done in terms of ensuring that children are educated and that we've got more child protection workers on the ground in the form of child and youth care workers. And in areas where we've got child and youth care workers, we do find that children can be brought together. They can come to the Safe Park. They can go to the drop-in centers. The child and youth care workers can access them in schools, and they educate them on how to use their cell phones, how to stay away from issues that can create problems for them. And I think for now, I can just stop there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ngonyama. You have just shared a very, very critical insight when it comes to the real care and protection of our children. Indeed, our discussion is more on online safety for children, children being referred, children having access and all that. But having you here who also receive and see those children every day in the middle of the night if they wake up, your members are ready to actually listen to them. So you are a very critical stakeholder, and thank you so much for your contribution. Mr. Witness, you are the National Secretary for the Association of Social Workers, who from time to time they are entrusted with the responsibility to follow on the Children's Act and also other legislative framework that speaks to the protection of children in general. You've got so many members, Mr. Muela. But what I want to check with you, what are your members saying We have just started this week on the last week or the last week of the month of May, and we are coming into the first week of June. Yeah, we have so many programs. So we were out there in schools, communities, and so many initiatives, webinars, they have taken place. What are your members saying? Are they winning the battle when it comes to the issue of child protection? The challenges that they are encountering every now and then, what are they, and how are you coming on board to ensure that you don't leave it to them to figure it out? How do we survive beyond these challenges? So, as the secretary, I want to believe that you have from time to time interacted with your members. And yeah, what are they saying, Mr. Muela?
Yeah, thanks very much, and greetings to our viewers out there. So I would like to thank you for the opportunity for inviting us to come and express our views and also to share our knowledge. So in terms of the child protection, I would like to also concur with Donald and also the CEO to say that indeed, in order for us to win the battle to protect our children or to make a safer environment for our children, we cannot win alone as social workers, but we need to make it a collaborative responsibility. So I liked the point wherein they indicated to say that we need to involve parents as critical stakeholders. Also, we need to involve the children themselves because we need not to leave them behind. So in order for us to win this, we need to collaborate as different stakeholders. And for our members as social workers, we often say we are the custodians of the Children's Act or the custodians of the child protection. So meaning for us as social workers, we are not involved in child protection only for this week of child protection, but every day of our life, our work involves protecting the children. But where you indicated the issues of challenges, it's actually most of our members, the challenges that they have on the ground is with regard to many case loads that they find themselves working, having to manage many cases, and that also overburdens them. So it speaks to also the point that Donald raised to say that we need more people on the ground. So from my side, I can also say that we need more social workers to be employed to assist in the caseload of child protection, because one of the other challenges that we are having out there is that as and when we need more people on the ground, we are faced with a challenge wherein most of our members are out there, they've got skills, they are educated, but they are unemployed. So as the association ourselves that seeks to advocate for the social workers, our work involved to advocate for government to create more spaces to employ social workers. So, but then to answer the question directly to say, are we winning or what? So I believe that if we can check with the current slogan for the child protection, it says working together to protect our children. So who are we protecting them from? So that slogan itself acknowledges that there are challenges, but there is a good work that is being done by different stakeholders like Donald, the Child and Youth Care Workers, and many other organizations. So we can win the battle for child protection if we involve one another and not leave others behind. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Muila, for a very comprehensive, even though it was a brief, but it's very comprehensive. Danny, I know I can wake you up in the middle of the night and say, here is the case. You will be up there to ensure that you get into your pyjama and run and make sure that the child is safe and protected. So the work that you do is very critical, and we really appreciate you. We know that you can bombard us with so many emails reporting how far are you. You are doing great, and we really appreciate you for that. But what I want to say, yes, we have started the last week of May. We are now coming into the second week of June, which we call obviously Child Protection Month, because so many days are dedicated in a month to do these activities. And in this period, we see government departments, organizations going out there, school intensifying their effort, which I do believe that it is not only during this period. The activities and efforts has been also being canvassed even way before, and even after we are still gonna have these initiatives and engagement. But do you think, is it enough? Are we where we are supposed to be? If we are not yet there, how do we get in? To our viewers out there, come in, provide your inputs. Our experts are ready to also interact with your inputs. Danny, back to you. Come in. Are we really where we want to be, or there is something that we can do?
To answer your question, no. I don't think we are even close to where we should be. And the reality is that even the timing of Child Protection Week is bad. Our kids are writing exams, meaning all our efforts are currently aimed at a very small percentage of kids that are currently not writing exams. So from grade 4 to grade 12, the kids are writing exams, they're busy studying. Schools don't actually want us there at this point in time. So there needs to be a revisit either to when that week takes place, or when do the schools start with exams. Because at this point in time where the kids are, which is at school, there's no priority for Child Protection Week. And we were chatting about this earlier. If you do not work within the child protection industry, and that includes all my colleagues and the colleagues on the previous podcast as well, if you don't work with us, you actually don't know it's Child Protection Week. How few kids actually know it's Child Protection Week? And then, how do we work together if only the few of us know what's going on? So it's important that we create a time that it makes sense. It's important that we speak to all stakeholders so that schools do not have a choice to say, our kids don't need conversations, because all kids need conversation. And then, once we've established that, there's a time frame where everybody, as a collective, can put their efforts into the same direction, and then we can truly say we're working together to make sure that kids are safe, kids are educated, as your CEO said, which is very important, and then only can we look and start making sure that the efforts that we put in, where are we getting with them? So at this point in time, it's not enough, but I think that blame is not just in front of the door of the people trying, because we're all trying. More people should buy in and say, priority should be the kids, and how do we get to them? Making sure that the kids that are currently writing exams hear this message. Because when are we going to see them again? 16 days of activism. Guess what the kids are doing during 16 days of activism? They're writing exams again.
Yeah, you have raised a very critical issue that we haven't actually reflected on more, but that is where it cements the importance of us having you today. Because indeed, when we come in together, there are so many things that the Association of Social Workers do, the child care workers do, ourselves, the films and publications do. But when we come together, it actually becomes easier for us to reach the intended audience and also give them the impactful initiatives that are not just to tick box to say we have done activities during Child Protection Week, now we report we have went to 2 schools, 3 schools and all that, but our initiative then becomes very impactful. Advocate, why is it so important for us to work with organizations like DENI, Child Protection Organization, the Association of Child Care Workers, Association of Social Workers, who from day to day they interact with children. They've got their child protection officer specialists across the country and also in the continent. Why is it so important for the FPB to bring them on board when we feel like we need to have a productive conversation about child protection and where we should take it to the next step?
You know, one of the pillars of a a successful or efficient regulatory model, because we are a regulator, is that as a regulator, we need to have powers that are founded in law. But more importantly, we need to collaborate. Collaboration is a pillar that makes a regulator efficient, because we cannot do it on our own. We do not have all this expertise that other experts have. So that is why it's important that we need to partner with civil society, because we cannot do this thing on our own. They are there on the ground. The child and youth care workers, they are on the ground. As FPB, we had what we call a youth council. I think the term elapsed. This is another area that we need to start work together with the child and youth care workers, because they are on the ground. One of the speakers also witnessed, actually all the speakers said, we cannot do it without talking to children. And they are the ones who know their plight, and especially when it comes to the issues of the internet and the harms that they are actually experiencing on the internet. So we need to know exactly. We can't be sitting here in our air-conditioned offices and start to have a compendium of the harms that children are facing, but it has to come from them. So that is why it's important that the practitioners that are on the ground are able to interact. They form part of the partners that engages with FPB. When you look at the Dennis Association, most of the time he reports these cases to FPB. He cannot investigate, but he does interact with ordinary members of the public. And he is there as an advocate for children to ensure that if you have experienced cyberbullying or issues of CSAM, the FPB is there to help. Right now, he made really an important point that we all forget. Not everyone knows that we've been observing the Child Protection Week. I think it's very important. I was actually very impressed on Sunday when I went to church. Our Sunday school teacher, when they were teaching the children, they were actually talking about the International Child Protection Week. So what does that mean? It means that we need to go to traditional leaders. One of the speakers said in the previous podcast, we need to go to churches, because that is where parents are, and ensure that we endorse the importance of child protection. The Child Protection Week or the Child Protection Month is just about ensuring that there is active observation, but this needs to happen 365 days, every day. We have that responsibility. And as FPB, we cannot do that on our own, but we need this collaboration from the practitioners, the social workers. These are the practitioners who are working closely with children. So that is why it becomes important that we cannot say with the powers that are vested in us, then we are a regulator that can be able to protect children. That is not how it can be done. That is why we have to work together, and we really applaud and appreciate that we have these organizations that continue and they are willing to partner, because the challenge that we normally face is that we are all protecting our space, but we need to be collaborating and working together to ensure that children are better protected, because it's about the outcome. At the end of the day, how South African children are being protected, it's not only counted by the FPB achieving its mandate or our annual performance plan target, but it's about the impact which cuts across all our responsibilities.
Thank you so much, Advocate. So coming to you, Witness, child participation. How can we get more children to be at the center front? Reason being, Mr. Witness, social workers are going to schools, they are presenting, organizations are going to schools, communities, they are presenting to children. But how do we get children themselves to also speak the language that we are speaking to them, compared to us going to present to them in order for you to protect yourself, do this and that? How do we get children to speak amongst themselves? I understand it's very important for us to do this presentation, but I want to believe that if a fellow child, remind a fellow child also that it's Child Protection Week, you cannot allow your right to be violated in this manner and all that. When and how do we get children to start talking the same language that we are speaking to them amongst themselves? And how do we track down and monitor? Yes, social workers might have visited 10 schools. How do we get the conversation also going in those respective schools so that they don't each and every now and then, when there is a case of cyberbullying, call us, there is a case of online violation, online harm, call us, so that at the end of the day, even the school itself is empowered. Remember, at the Films and Publication Board, we do have the learner targeted program, we do have the parent targeted program, the educator targeted program, so that we synergize. We understand that children spend most of their formidable time at school. Obviously, so many things will happen in between. But when they leave school set up, they still have enough time to play amongst themselves. Then how do we bring that information to the children when they get home? Parents also need to be aware. I know that our children today, they are more technological advanced than their parents, so they can always override and do as they please. While the parent is sitting on the other room thinking, I'm monitoring my child activity on the online space, not to actually realize that they've already override on that. They can only see what they wanted them to see, because technological wise, they can actually always be those gap. How do we get into the importance of child participation witness, so that before we say to children, do this and that, themselves, they've already started with the conversation. We don't remind them. When we get to school, they are not shocked that, hey, we are at school, it's Child Protection Week. No, we get that, they say, oh, we've been waiting for you. We've been doing this and that activities just a day or two ago in commemoration of this very special period where we talk about child protection.
Yeah, thanks very much. And indeed, different stakeholders, they've got learner-targeted initiatives that raise awareness on child protection. And you have touched an important fact of child participation, and that is in terms of Section 10 of the Children's Act. It calls for children to be involved in the participation of issues that involves them. So in terms of the initiatives that, when you talk about the initiatives that seeks to involve children on the ground, I was impressed by the social workers in a certain office in Limpopo, when I've actually come across their social media where they posted their event. Actually, they moved from a traditional method of going to the school and present to the children about child protection. I've seen them posting a picture wherein they are marching with the children, or holding the placards saying "Stop Child Abuse" and so forth. So in that way, it seeks to involve the children to say that children as active participants in their own protection. And also, there are also initiatives that seeks to say that to raise awareness on the children about their rights. But also, one important factor when we talk about the rights of the children that we should not leave out is that we should talk about the rights of children concurrently with the responsibilities, to say that as much as children have got the rights, they must also know that they've got responsibilities. Like he talked about a situation wherein a parent take a gadget away from a child, and this child needs to use this gadget for school purposes. So in as much as this child has a right to use this gadget for school purposes, they've got also the responsibility to ensure that they don't use it for other purposes that can seek to harm themselves in the near future. So, and also when we talk about the involvement of parents as well, there are many. I think there are still many things that we still need to achieve, especially as the world is changing towards the fourth industrial revolution, to say that how can we then raise awareness for the parents to always guard what their children consume online. I like the fact that when you introduced the mandate for FPB, you mentioned the fact that you regulate what we consume on the internet, and also there are features on the gadgets wherein the parents can just be involved in terms of what their children consume. Like it can even notify you every time when your child is downloading something. So the participation of children in these initiatives is very much important. Like I believe that we need to move away from the traditional method to come to a setting wherein we involve children as the active participant, especially when we talk about their rights. So there are also another initiatives where like children's parliament, where children come together, they discuss issues that concern them and also their protection. So, but as the association, we are of the view that such kind of initiatives should also be decentralized to local municipalities, wherein even a kid from a village or a rural village can have the platform to come together and express themselves, talk about their rights and their protection. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, National Secretary of the Association of Social Workers. Donald, back to you. How can we ensure that we reach the most vulnerable, the most destitute in the rural areas there? How can we ensure that we are reaching as much as we can? We know that we can't reach everyone. How do we get to ensure that we are where no one expects us to be?
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks to Witness for your what you have just shared. Before I get to that point, allow me to say that it's a child and youth care work. It's a relationship-based intervention, and we work with children in the life space, where children are. And we work with them in schools, in communities. We have got youth forums that we are running. The youth forum, it's actually the young people who are beneficiaries of the child and youth care workers services. So in that way, we use that to promote child participation. And I just want to say a few things when it comes to child participation. And I like what Witness has indicated, that there is a traditional way of talking to children. And we have also, through our innovation, came up with a way to get children to share their voices. And we call that cognitive story mapping, where children can draw their experiences based on a particular subject. And from that, we are getting a lot of information from children, because sometimes children are not able to express themselves. But if you allow them to draw it, they will draw it, and then they can explain it in that limited way they can, but you will be able to interpret it, because the child and youth care workers are trained to be able to interpret that. And we also have structured programs that we run with children. We have got group discussions that we run with children, and in that way you get children to speak about their own experiences. We also do deliver messages through school assemblies in the cases where we are working in schools, but in the community-based organizations as well, where children come together in the drop-in centers and the safe parks. That is where children can be engaged, and they can freely express themselves, talk about their experiences, because they are working with child and youth care workers who have been trained, and they can be able to identify children who have got who are struggling with issues. He spoke about matches. We found that I actually would like to thank the South African Police Service, because in all the provinces where we organize matches, highlighting issues of child abuse, we find that it's easier to get SAPS to work with us. And I need to also indicate that in talking of child participation, the matches that we organize are actually organized by the Youth Forum, because the Youth Forum is an organized structure in every province that we have. So they plan the matches, they engage the local stakeholders to participate in that. Coming to your question, how can we reach people right in the rural communities? The NACCW, the National Association, we developed a model called the ECBND. And the ECBND model has now been handed over to the Department of Social Development. It has been rebranded. It's called the RISIHA, Community Prevention and Early Intervention. The program that we handed to the department was an effective program. And if that program can be supported, we can ensure that as many communities as possible have got child and youth care workers who will be able to provide services to the most needy children. The good thing about the model is that the child and youth care workers and auxiliary child and youth care workers come from the same community. They understand the culture, they understand, they know the children and the families, and they know how to engage the local leaders in that community. I think if that program can be supported and we have more child and youth care workers and auxiliary child and youth care workers on the ground, we'll be able to reach more children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the director. Danny, if I am to make you a president of children ministry for a day, what is one initiative that you are going to introduce within an hour?
You're going to give me a lot of power now. I think the first thing I would do is I would put children together to speak to each other so that they also understand what the impact is of the decisions that they make on each other. Because see, as much as, and I mean, you do the same, that we go to schools, we chat to the kids. As much as there's older people trying to catch our children and getting them to send photos and videos, a lot of the time, it's also other kids that are jealous because of more likes or more follows or less follows. So I would firstly say, as much as we need to chat to them, they also need to have open dialogue with each other. What is the impact? So if you take photos of me and you place it somewhere, you put my life at risk. There comes great responsibility by having a cell phone in your hand. And before our kids listen to us, and we know they listen to us halfway and then they listen to other people, they also need to speak to each other. And that would be the first thing I would do. And then obviously I've got a full hour, so that would be the first 10 minutes. So no, I'm joking. So let them speak to each other, and then let us explain to them, as the gentleman rightfully said, yes, a lot of rights, but also responsibility. So this is the impact of the decisions that you make, because most of the time, once a photo of a child has been leaked or taken, it's not just a short-term damage. It's a very long-term and sometimes trauma for years.
Yeah.
So one mishap has a big impact. And our kids don't know that because our parents are not educated enough about it, because we grew up without cell phones.
Yeah.
As a child, I kicked ball outside. I got sunburnt. Our kids don't get sunburnt. They're on the couch, on the chair, on the table playing PlayStation. So that's what I would do. Open dialogue, kids with kids, us with the kids as the people that have knowledge in the industry, then also us with the parents and the educators. And then all together, if we all work towards the same goal, it's a lot easier to achieve it.
Okay, no, thank you so much, Danny. To our viewers out there, keep sending those messages, inputs. We are here to listen. The conversation is very interesting, and you will make it more interesting. Keep them on, keep them coming. Advocate, do you think in terms of monitoring and evaluation, we do have enough program where we can measure the impact. When we go out there to do learner engagement, parents engagement, after that, as organization departments, do you think we do have the sufficient method at which we are going to measure the impact if indeed our initiative were impactful in this community? Because we came in and the SAPS statistics just a month ago was at 600. Today is at 400. Are we having that, or is something that we need to work on?
We're not doing enough. As the organization, as FPB, we have started measuring the impact. You will recall that our online safety mandate came into effect on the 1st of March 2022. So what we have done, we had to measure the impact actually of that legislation. And from the observation that we have at a legislative level, because technology is moving at a very fast pace, already we don't have an impact, because when you compare globally with other online safety regulators, the powers that we have are very limited, because we do not have explicit provisions that aims at protecting children in terms of the responsibilities now of social media platforms. Because as children access social media, there has to be also, there's a big talk that is happening across the globe, the issues of safety by design, that the platforms should have all the safety features to actually protect children. So which means harmful content should not even reach the public platform. It should be moderated and removed immediately. But more importantly, ensuring that they are able to pick up that this is actually a 12-year-old that is claiming to be 13 or 16. Those are the gaps that we have in terms as we do our internal, our own monitoring and evaluation. But also we're looking at the impact of the Film and Publication Board, especially our education and awareness, because that is the tool that we have in empowering parents. We are slowly making an impact, but more can be done. We need to do more and ensure that we evaluate the impact. And the impact of the FPB cannot only, the success of child protection programs cannot only be measured through the work of the FPB. I think we still continue to work in silos, whereas we are aiming at achieving the same impact, because for the programs to have an impact, they have to also be evaluated jointly. And the question is, how are we supposed to do that? It's not only at us as regulators, us as an association of practitioners, civil society, but it also has to go even just beyond us, even at a policy level, because various departments are embedded with the responsibility of ensuring that children are able to enjoy their rights, and it cuts across their daily life. So we really need to do more to ensure that with the limited resources that we have in the Republic, we are able to put our efforts together and measure impact. So that is an area that really requires improvement.
Such a mouthful, advocate, and we are learning. To our viewers, come in, we are enjoying ourselves. Danny, I want to check, man. You have met with victims of online violation. From time to time, their parents will call you, you will go to school, you will see that. How does this online violation do to them?
So first thing it does is we must always remember when we speak about a child's world does not look like our world. It's not the same place.
Yeah.
Because they see things a lot bigger than what we realize they really are. So once, let's say a person X has conned a child to send them a photo or a video of themselves. To that child, that's their entire world.
Yeah.
To person X, they're one of 20 victims for today. And for us as grown-ups, we understand that not everybody knows what our child looks like without clothing. Because that's the first thing they say. everybody's going to know it's my body. No, they're not. How many people have you sent that to? It's not like everybody knows. So that's the first thing, is they I'm going to use Afrikaans with they skrik. They get this big fright for what it is. Then they also want to make it go away. So kids would much rather be stuck in exploitation than lose their phone, which is bad. That's not healthy. So now they're saying nothing, because if I tell mom and dad, they're going to take my phone away. So now I'd rather struggle.
Yeah.
That, unfortunately, means that they're now trying to buy their freedom, because for the people that don't know, they get told, if you don't give me money, I'm going to share that photo with everyone on all the platforms, etc. So once they share that information, the parents obviously in the beginning don't believe that their child could make a mistake. Now I have to tell all the viewers, there's only 2 perfect kids in this world, not 2. All of us feel that way about our kids.
Yes.
So we must accept that our kids makes mistakes. If you're open with your children in dialogue, that they make mistakes, then they can come to you when they make mistakes. So that's the most important thing. Have that conversation with your kids beforehand. The chances are that they have been asked or had a request for something, so that you become that safe space where they can say something. So by the time they share it with us, the parents need to understand your child just made a mistake.
Yeah.
We cannot fight now. They've made a mistake. And also remember, I said this to a mom last week, your child has also now lost a relationship. As a grown-up, I understand it wasn't real. It was fake. But to the child, that was a real relationship. They've just lost their partner, their boyfriend, their girlfriend. They're heartbroken. So we need to treat all of those things at the same time while not burning them going forward. Meaning, it's like when you fall off a bike, what's the easiest thing to do? Let's get you back up, hold you steady for a while, and then you can ride that bicycle on your own again. So we need to make sure we have proper conversations, safeguards in place, and when they make mistakes, which they're going to do, like we still make, we need to not make it like it's the end of the world. And then we can try and fix what they've done wrong, and then we come to you guys, and I'm going to knock on your door, and I'm going to say, listen, please go and find Caterpillar 101.
Yeah, no, you are very correct. Thank you so much, Danny.
Perhaps to add on that point
Yeah.
of the victims of online violation, I would like to agree with Danny to say that the impact actually is a long-lasting impact.
Yeah.
Because remember, if the person shared this content online to violate the victim, the person can at a later stage delete it from their profile, but remember, something that is shared on the internet stays there forever.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm saying that it can even affect even the future relationship of that child as a grown-up person, because something that has been shared across some people already have stored that in their devices. So the content can even resurface.
Yeah.
It can even come and be seen by your children when you grow up as an adult, or even your grandchildren. So the impact on of online violation on the victims, it's a long-lasting impact. So, and it can even affect you emotionally.
That is very true, Mr. Muila. Donald, I want you to say to your members, you know how committed are they? I would be unfair not to say to you, what is the message to them there at the ground? You spoke about number of programs. It's even the new program that we handed over to the department. What is your last message to them wherever they are? I believe that some of them, they are live here. They will be listening to you. What is your last words to them?
Thank you very much. To our child and youth care workers and auxiliary child and youth care workers, wherever you are, we've just come out of the International Child and Youth Care Workers Week celebration, and we celebrated the week with the understanding that there is still a lot that needs to be done in terms of developing our profession of child and youth care work. And I urge each one of you to do whatever you can do in advocating for the child and youth care work profession. And we are now in the Child Protection Week. And with the Child Protection Week, I believe that we've got programs that have been planned for the entire week and the entire month. And I also need to indicate that for us, Child Protection Week, it's not just a week or a month. It is work that we do on a daily basis. For the 365 days a year, we are working with children to protect them from abuse, to intervene in difficulties that children are experiencing in their lives, to support them, to support their families. So we should continue doing that. And we understand that as a profession, we have got issues that we have to deal with, and that is going to take some time because development of a profession, it's a matter of decades. It's not something that you can do within 5 years, 10 years. Child and youth care work profession has been in existence in our country now for around 50 years. And we still have the next 50 years to work and improve our work and improve ourselves. And I urge all of you to put the child at the center. That is what we have committed ourselves to. We have dedicated ourselves to working with children, and we need to put the children first at all times. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ngonyama. Witness, what are you saying to your social worker, child protection officials, and also the social service professionals in general out there who put their life in danger every now and then? We get to wake up to hear that a social worker or a child protection officer, they've been mugged, robbed, killed while in the line of duty. What is your message to them?
Yeah, thanks very much. Indeed, also, we would like to acknowledge those conditions under which our members work tirelessly to protect our children. Indeed, for us as social workers, every time of our life, our work also involves protecting the children. We know that for the social workers out there, child protection, when it comes to children, it's a priority for social workers. So if a parent or a child knocks at your office at 4 o'clock, there is no knock off time for a social worker. You need to attend the child immediately and ensure that the child gets serviced or the child get to be protected in that manner. But we would like to also express our appreciation for our social workers and social services practitioners in general who work under such tireless conditions and protect our children. So we also like to urge our members to say that let them continue to work remember, as social workers who are guided by principles such as non-judgmental attitude and confidentiality. So let them continue to treat our clients guided by those principles. And the most other important thing that I can raise to our members is to say that we need to unite so that at the end of the day, we are able to advance some of our challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Witness, for the message to our practitioner. Denny, there are also other organizations, representatives who are online now. What are your message to them? The word of motivation to them. I know that from time to time you do experience challenges where you feel like, let me leave it. But at the end of the day, the inner yourself says, no, I want to continue. I want to continue. What are you saying to them? They are listening to you. And you must also, viewers, send those messages coming. We are greatly appreciating you guys continuously engaging with ourselves with this platform. So, Danny, what is your message to them? They are out there listening to you.
We see you, We appreciate you. We know you're tired, and we know most of the time you're on survival mode. So we appreciate you more than words can ever say. Keep it up, and if you ever feel that you're not strong enough, make contact so we can carry each other. And let's help each other. And nothing is too small to sometimes just say, listen, I need help.
Thank you so much, Danny. Advocate, what is your last words to our viewers back home?
From us as the FPB, I want to echo the same sentiments that have been shared by the panel. Viewers out there, for every right that you have, there is a corresponding responsibility. So you need to think before you post. That is our motto as the FPB. You should always ask yourself, is it true? Is it honest? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? That's very important because the internet does not forget.
Thank you so much, Advocate. And I want to take this opportunity to thank my very special panel. You have been so great. And I've actually enjoyed interacting with all of you. As I've indicated, it is not a first of them all. It is just the beginning. The conversation continues. I am very grateful for honoring our invitation. I know that we have removed you from your busy schedule because obviously it's a very busy week. But you have made it a point that you are here today with us. It simply means that you value the work and also the target that we want to achieve. And for you to be here, we do not take it lightly. We really appreciate you guys and continue to do the good work. We have invited you because we have recognized the good work that you are doing, and we are to say to you, continue doing that without feeling any sense of tiredness. You continue to do that without feeling like I'm about to give up, explode, and all that. At the end of the day, children out there, they are waiting for you to play your part. As much as we expect them to play their part, you are also expected to play your part to ensure that indeed when we talk about the child protection, we are talking about the collective effort. FPB alone cannot do it. The association alone cannot do it. The organizations alone, they can't do it. But collectively, we will get somewhere. We might not do it overnight, but we will get somewhere. Continue engaging us, fpb.za, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Film and Publication Board. Our viewers, we love you so much. As I've indicated, we are going to have this continuous conversation going forward, and we value your presence here. Thank you so much to my panel. Thank you so much to our viewers. We appreciate you